Hello and welcome to Property Box News. I'm Simon Evison. So, the election has come and gone and we have a new Tory government. Many challenges face the PM and Brexit is high on the agenda. Investors across all asset classes are keeping a close eye on the developments because leaving the EU will have an impact on all investment strategies. Over the last 20 years, investing in property has been a relatively stable way of making money. Despite changes in tax laws and the rise of taxable profit, many still see it as a viable option, as the fundamentals look solid. Also, if you take into account that there is a growing demand for rental property, one reason being it's increasingly difficult for young people to get on the housing ladder, and the average age of first-time buyers has tipped over 35 for the first time. Despite a fall in house price growth, affordability for first-time buyers means they are forced to continue renting. So, with that in mind, which areas of the country currently provide the best yields? Overall, private rental prices paid by tenants in Great Britain rose by 1.8% in the 12 months to April, according to the Office of National Statistics. According to the latest Your Move Buy-to-Let Index, the top areas for landlords to invest in are first Wales, which has seen a growth of 8.5% in rent in the last 12 months to May, with a typical property in Wales renting for £602. Number 2 is the east of England, seeing an increase of 6.1% year on year to stand at £876 per month. And third is London, which actually saw a fall in rent for the 5th month in a row. Valerie Bannister, Lettings Director of Your Move, made this comment: "Falling rents in London should be seen in a wider economic context, with uncertainty caused by the general election and the upcoming Brexit negotiations, forcing the capital property market to take a pause for breath." Other areas to boast strong performances in the last year were the South East, where rents grew by 2.7% to reach £881 a month, the East Midlands, where prices increased by 2.5% year on year, and the North West, which saw 2.1% growth. And in the Northwest, it's widely predicted that there will be a surge in the near future, supported by the Northern Powerhouse concept. A fresh study by Legal & General Mortgage Club reveals that 80% of brokers forecast that the north of England will become a landlord hotspot over the next 12 months. As a result of the recent legislations, 45% of brokers also predict that landlords will look to invest in university towns and student accommodation. Of the higher performing universities, Durham, Loughborough and Warwick are giving the best yields currently of between 5.22 and 4.91%. Back to buy-to-let, and Scottish investors are doing even better than their counterparts south of the border. The average Scottish rental price increased by 6% in the 12 months to April, with the typical Scottish rental property letting for £574 a month, with all areas of Scotland, including April, seeing the average rental price increase. This also according to Your Move. As always, wherever you intend to invest, do your due diligence. Get to know the area, talk to the agents locally and network with other investors in the region, and make sure the demand is there to sustain your strategy. Residential Landlord Association Chairman Alan Ward recently made an appeal for landlords to support the lobbying to overturn the mortgage interest relief tax, otherwise known as tenant tax. The RLA is urging the new government to instead adopt positive tax policies that will encourage more people to invest in the private rented sector in order to provide more much-needed homes to rent across the country. And finally, controversial landlord Fergus Wilson, in his ongoing race row, has called for a specialist insurance company to be set up to deal with cases where he claims, in his own words, tenants leave a property smelling of curry. The landlord, who has a large portfolio in Kent, is currently facing legal action from the Equality of Human Rights Commission over his controversial letting policy where he refuses tenancy, again in his own words, to coloured people. He denies accusations of racism, insisting his decision is purely economical after allegedly spending thousands of pounds removing the smell of curry from one of his properties. His slightly warped reasoning also included comments like, if someone punches a wall and leaves a dent, you can take a photograph to prove it. And how do you prove there is a smell if they're cooking curry? They're not doing it maliciously, but they are injuring the house. The case continues. That's all from me this week. Please leave us a comment below. We'd love to hear from you. Goodbye. I don't, do you know what? Actually, forget that.